Well, that's what she did. And then it went on from there. So she volunteered to make the cake. And the guy was like, yeah. Then they found out. Then so they said, okay, do that. Now that cake is today. So then, right out there, she didn't do that. She got her again. So then she tried to have that said,
Right.
I didn't think I again, so she then she changed her mind again. Changed her mind again. Anyway,
I'm glad I'm glad you're doing a lot.
yes,
It was a big group when right now that we're all one of us. I miss you guys. It's hard to kind of like get back into the swing of things after you leave. Yeah, I worked yesterday, so that helped. Yeah, that helped. It was like, I can't explain to you how beautiful it was. It's small there too, so there's not like a lot. It's like nothing. Like I'm a remote feeling. So is it far from an airport? Like do you have to fly it? From Miami, you fly to Miami, and then from Miami to there is like not even 2 hours. Okay. Yeah. But it's like the airport. Yeah. A room. Yeah. Do you want to see the early? Yeah. I need a few edits. Yeah, I need a few edits. I needed to get the flash. You think so? So it's usually 40 minutes in tables. I'm going to add a little bit more section. But it was like so packed last night. A lot of people came out late. Because last time, is it 40 chairs just the tables? Because we had order there. What today is.
I think I'll be there because well, I took a picture and started back to you. Made a deal.
Yeah.
So,
Well, like I work for Catholic, and so we're working on a video. The first one,
I'm gonna get up. Is this your chair? I'm really gonna get up.
I see your time.
I wonder.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go ahead and have you take your seats. We're about to get started. If you'd like to take your seats. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to get started. Welcome. My name is Leanna Perpucci, and I am your MC this afternoon, and also on the board of the Fullerton Collaborative. And we thank you so much for being here for our second candidate forum. Last month we had our city council candidates, and now we do have our school board candidates. So thank you so much for being here. With no further ado, I'm going to go ahead and introduce your 4 candidates that are here today. For Fullerton School District, Fullerton School Board District 1, we have James Cho and Hilda Sugarman. And for Fullerton School Board District 5, we have Vanessa Estrella and Leonel Talavera. All right, so let's put our hands together and welcome them. Make them feel warm and welcome. This isn't scary, we're just talking. That's right. Okay, so what we're going to be doing today, if you're new to the Fullerton Collaborative, we have 4 areas that we use as our different subcommittees and our focus. We do things beyond our 4 areas, but we really try to drive these 4 areas for initiatives within the city. So each, we're going to have a representative from each of these subcommittees come in and ask questions to our candidates. Candidates, you're going to answer in different order every time. So we're going to start, James, you'll be answering first for the first question, and then so on and so forth. Hilda, the second question, you'll answer first. Okay? So from our Next Gen Youth Committee, we have Amy Cho Wan. Thank you, Amy.
Before we start, we're going to have the introduction. We have 1 minute.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Okay.
My apologies. Before we start, we have to do a 1-minute introduction from each candidate. So James, go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for sharing your time with me today. My name is James Cho, and I'm a candidate for Fullerton School District Trustee Area 2. Trustee Area 2, which goes anywhere from Fern Drive to Luna Road to Whistler, that triangle of northwest Fullerton. So that's the area that I would hope to represent the citizens of Fullerton. I am a lieutenant colonel in the Air Force Reserves, but I'm also a Fullerton hometown kid. So I grew up in Fullerton schools. I learned how to speak English at Sunset Lane, going to Laguna Road, Parks Junior High, Sunny Hills, eventually left Orange County to serve our country in the Air Force with combat search and rescue units deployed to Afghanistan and Iraq and the Horn of Africa. What moved me back here was you hit a certain age, maybe it's having a kid, where you realize why your parents moved here too. I couldn't wait to get out of Fullerton, but then I realized, no, I get it. This is where I need to raise a family. So I moved back to Fullerton to raise a family of my own, and I hope to represent the younger generation, the new generation of leaders in Fullerton that can take the Fullerton School District to the next level. So I think it's time for a fresh voice. Thank you for your time.
As a longtime trustee, I realize that to make informed and good decisions, boards benefit from diverse perspectives. Currently, our 5-member board includes 3 working parents with children in our district. I bring community voice, valuable K-12 experience, and corporate memory to discussions. I foster relationships that support our schools, bring forward-thinking ideas, and support families. My efforts have enhanced educational offerings, leading initiatives such as cutting-edge technology programs, the introduction of our Korean and Spanish dual language programs, and AP courses for junior high students, while always keeping a focus on academic excellence. I'm proud to have contributed in shaping our district's future. Fullerton receives many honors. The best is that for 2 years, we have been named Best School District in North Orange County.
Hello, my name is Vanessa Estrella, and I'm running for Fullerton Elementary School Board in District 5. That is south of Commonwealth, so we have a few schools in our district: Woodcrest, Richmond, Maple, Nicholas, and which one am I missing? Commonwealth. I am running for school board because we need proactive representation in our district high schools. I am a mother of 2 beautiful daughters who attend the Fullerton School District in 3rd grade and 7th grade, and my passion for being a mother really fueled my passion. Being a mother fueled my passion for getting involved and being a part of my community, as well as being a business owner. I've lived in the south of Fullerton for over 2 decades, and I am ready to be able to advocate for our families and our district.
It's on. Good afternoon, Fullerton Collaborative members. I am so glad to be here as a 6-year Fullerton Collaborative board member in the past. I know all the hard work that you guys put in to our city here. It's extremely humble for myself to be able to share a little bit about how I came to be running for school board back in 2016 and then also in 2020. So the work that I did in South Fullerton, specifically with the work that I did with Habitat for Humanity, really kind of embarked the passion and the fire to really represent South Fullerton when it went from at large to district voting. So the passion that the residents brought to be able to do a lot of the work that they were advocating for was for their kids and not for themselves. And as a first-time dad at that time, I felt like I also needed to kind of advocate for the community as well too. So thank you all for being here.
Thank you very much for those wonderful introductions. We can clap for them one more time. Yes, thank you. We're gonna try this again, representing our Next Gen Youth Empowerment, Amy Chauhan.
Thank you so much for being here today, and I'm a member of one of the subcommittees called Next Gen Youth Empowerment. It was formerly known as At-Risk Youth, but we recently changed the name. So I have 2 questions for you. And the first one is, the hospitalizations for children for serious mental illness and substance use rates increased 47% in 9 years in Orange County. According to a recent survey conducted by the Orange County Healthcare Agency Behavioral Health Services, 51% of parents indicated that their children ages 4 to 17 years old were experiencing significant issues related to anxiety and depression since the pandemic. We are also hearing reports of the deadly fentanyl crisis on the rise in our nation. So what strategies would you support to address these issues of mental health and substance use in our district? And we'll start with James.
Yeah, so thank you for that question. I think, first of all, this is an unfortunate reflection of where we are as a society. So these are not issues limited to strictly school-aged children, but parents, teachers, staff in our school district are having to deal with the consequences and the reverberations that are going through our society. I think one way we could help is to encourage the uptake of health insurance that can provide you sustainable mental health solutions. So an example of that would be Medicaid for certain low-income families, and I would work with the district to get higher uptake there. But secondly, we need someone who can talk to parents, someone who can relate to parents and some of the struggles that they're facing today, because a lot of parents these days are dealing with certain issues that were similar, like they ring true, right? Being bullied is a familiar feeling, but being bullied online 24/7 with AI generated images, that's a new frontier, and we need someone that can relate to those parents. Finally, I don't think any sustainable solution is going to be top down and led by adults. What we actually need are youth-driven solutions. Their peers are what's going to save them and prevent them from entering bouts of depression or drug abuse. So I think there are a lot of different ways we can go about it, but unfortunately, it is a reflection of where our society is today.
I totally agree with you. In Fullerton, we implement a multifaceted approach that encompasses policy, programs, community initiatives, and family support. We have several programs that are tiered to very targeted interventions. These programs help students develop emotional resilience and coping skills. 3 times a year, teachers use a test to identify a risk group and are trained to monitor behavior. Every site has an on-site mental health counselor. Additionally, for Solace students and families with mental health provides mental health to families. We have adult classes to educate on the signs of suicide and drug issues regarding fentanyl. Currently, we are preparing for Ribbon Week. It educates students on issues relating to drugs. The community party on November 18th could discuss the same issues with families. Right now, we are giving out to adults Narcan kits so that you can keep it in your purse and you can help someone if they are in trouble. They can't hurt if you give it when they aren't in trouble. I mean, if it's for something else. But you give it, and there are 2 doses, so you can give a second one if they don't respond. We want to help our students, protect our families, and be relevant. Thank you.
Our Fullerton School District has partnered with Daybreak Health for free teletherapy for students and families. But one of the biggest issues that I've seen, especially in District 5, is that we can't ignore the cultural barriers that prevent some of the families from seeking mental support. Unfortunately, some of the families in District 5, to them, mental health is a taboo. And we have to educate our parents, not educate, I hate using the word educate our parents. We have to promote mental health and let them know that it's okay. It is not a taboo. We have to increase bilingual, culturally competent mental health professionals. There is a big turnover on our mental health professionals in the district, and that is because, I mean, let's be honest, we don't have the money and they're not getting paid well. There's a lot of people and a lot of our children, a lot of our families who need mental health supports, and we really have to address those issues.
So at Fullerton School District, we have done a pretty amazing job of providing the resources and support to all of our families throughout the district, especially the Communities and Schools program through a state-funded grant, but then also continuing to build partnerships and collaborations like with members of the Fullerton Collaborative, particularly with St. Jude that provides some funding to some of the grant positions through the psychologists and counselors at the school district. So it's really not just a one-sided approach that we got to do. We got to do this collaboratively to have an impact in our community. So, thank you.
Thank you. My second question, and we'll start with Hilda. So second question is, what do you feel the biggest challenges are for our school district?
Thank you. The biggest problem facing our district long-term is facilities and aging infrastructure. Aging infrastructures threatens budget because of the surprises that happen. You know, when your pipes suddenly break or there's a leak in your roof, you gotta address it, you have to pay for it. The additional costs take away from services and programs for children. Challenges also include students of poverty and experiencing homelessness. but that's another question for today, and we'll address that when we get to that one. Thank you.
Oh, sorry. The district has made strides in academic recovery, but equity remains a challenge. We are seeing gaps in achievement, especially among Hispanic students, children with special education, and homeless children. For example, the Fullerton School District was recently flagged by the state of California for overly labeling Latino children, Hispanic children for having learning disabilities. Unfortunately, my incumbent has not addressed these issues since they were spoken about last year. And that is one of the biggest things that led me to actually run for school board. We cannot be satisfied with overall success if we have pockets of inequity. Our district needs to focus on targeted interventions for these very vulnerable groups. And I am happy to advocate for all of these children in District 5.
So I believe some of the biggest challenges that we're facing in South Fullerton is really kind of coming out of the pandemic. The impact that the pandemic had in District 5 was really largely associated with access to healthcare and to resources to be able to move forward from the pandemic. And then also being a really landlocked area where a lot of families live in small apartments, 2 to 3 families living in these apartments, really accessing internet components to that, which the district addressed and took proactive measures to be able to do that, but also to making sure that they have ways that they can connect with their peers and other schools and other parents within the district as well too.
The single largest problem facing our school district is declining enrollment. So for those of you who don't know, our schools are funded by average attendance. The fewer students that attend our school district, the less funding we get. That's a problem that I think we're trying to manage through the annual budget process. But over time, the cracks are going to become too big to ignore, and hard decisions are going to have to be made. Unfortunately, more doom and gloom for me, this is a larger socioeconomic issue that the district can't tackle alone, right? Families of my generation are having fewer children. Fewer children means fewer school-age children. Fullerton is getting more expensive to live, not just Fullerton, but North Orange County. So fewer families are able to move to raise families of their own. I grew up with several of my friends that went to Sunny Hills with me. None of them could afford to move back. So this is a larger socioeconomic issue that we're grappling with. We need to elect leaders that understand the issue as it impacts families today and work cross-jurisdictionally on how to make Fullerton a more livable, affordable place to live. And I think Fullerton Collaborative is the perfect example of that.
Thank you so much. Now we're going to move on to our early childhood subcommittee, and I will, since Deborah's giving time, I'm going to go ahead and ask those questions. And Vanessa, you'll be answering first for this question. Fewer than half of Orange County's low-income children are ready for kindergarten at age 5, which leads to lower 3rd grade English language achievement. What strategies would you support to address this issue?
So Fullerton School District already has preschool and TK programs, but despite their efforts to help our youth, there are still barriers for families who may not know about these programs or cannot access them due to work schedules. We must increase outreach to working families, providing flexible schedules for early childhood programs and additional support for language barriers, especially with families that are bilingual. Early exposure to language through singing, dancing, and art have been statistically shown to help build strong language skills, especially in low-income homes, where parents may not have enough time to do face-to-face with their children because they're at work. Additionally, we should partner with community organizations like First 5 and local health systems to connect families with free resources that can help prepare their children for school early on. I saw another
So definitely one of the things that the school district has been able to do is partner with the Hunt Branch Library to be able to offer kind of some streamlined services through a grant and a partnership that we created with the city of Fullerton. But again, we can't do this alone, and we can't do this on our own. So when we think about the first 5, yes, we are meeting preschool age kids and TK programs, but at the same time, we're missing the 0 to 3 component. And again, that's where a lot of the partners and members of the Fullerton Collaborative can help provide us with that information and resources of what that looks like. The other element also is not having that come to us, but us going to them as well too. So just a little plug for those that do services for 0 to 3 is really outreaching to them and meeting them where they're at.
Yes, this is a real serious issue, right? Pandemic-induced learning loss, and I think it should be one of the priorities of the district, and not on things like the Performance Academy. And I think in line with that, the superpower here of an elected leader is not any legal authority that we get just by dint of being in office. The superpower we have as elected leaders is to force the attention and drive the agenda. You're all leaders in respective organizations in your community. You know when you send an email out, that's the thing your staff pays attention to. And I think we need leaders to step up and pay attention to COVID-induced learning loss. One alarming stat for me is in 2017, roughly 80%, 8 out of 10 children that were English learners were making progress. Now fewer than half are. That's about 1,500 students that are being left behind. So I think we need leaders to step up.
Not quite sure of those numbers. I know that in Fullerton, our data shows about 55% of our entering kindergartners are on track in all domains of learning. Regarding language and cognitive development, about 74% of our kindergartners are on track. That being said, the numbers of our children of poverty and second language students are much lower. To ensure that they reach the abilities they need to read by 3rd grade, Fullerton School District employs focused and researched programs. First, students must develop sound skills, clapping, one-syllable, rhyming word skills. Next, they move to phonemic awareness, phonics. This must be taught with a systematic and explicit approach. Teachers are trained for these programs in order to gain success for their students. It adds additional progressive and decoding skills. The GLAD program is essential. Computers help new immigrants entering school beyond the kindergarten year to develop their language. Thank you.
Okay, for our second half of our early childhood subcommittee questions, Leona, you'll be first for this one. In what ways could the school districts with the community work collaboratively to improve education outcomes?
Yeah, definitely. I think really hearing from the community itself, again, meeting them where they're at, but also kind of listening to what they're saying. Some of the challenges and barriers, making sure that it's relatable to what society is kind of creating nowadays for them, and making sure that we do, implement some of those changes and some of those ideas that kind of comes from them. But it's really a good, not just a top-down approach, but a bottom-up approach as well too.
So 2 things. First, we need your eyes and ears. You're part of the community, you're an integral part of the fabric of our neighborhoods, and we need to know what you're seeing and what you're hearing from our community members. So we need your eyes and ears because you understand, perhaps in the context as candidate Estrella mentioned, culturally aware, culturally competent outreach. So we need your eyes and ears. Secondly, I need your trust. I need to mortgage your trust because if elected on the board, I still might not have the trust of certain members of our community. They trust you and you have solutions, and together, collaboratively, right, we can work toward making Fullerton a more livable place. So I need your eyes and ears to let us know what's happening out there on the street, ground truth data, and I also need to mortgage your trust and to borrow your trust in the community. Thank you.
Could you repeat the question one more time?
Absolutely. In what ways could the school districts with the community work collaboratively to improve education outcomes?
Thank you. Parents should be encouraged to partner with their child's learning. We offer parenting classes, phonemic awareness, and phonics is good to learn regardless of the language you teach it to your child. We must have a welcoming school plan to include parents and community volunteers. Volunteer readers and mentors are additional resources to students and schools. Donors choose the Fullerton Education Foundation and others contribute to school libraries for interactive and engaging books. Programs like Raptor Technology involve students in their reading joy in the early stages of reading. Using an interactive iPad program, students can even create objects that become animated in their printed program books. Let's do whatever it takes to get kids involved in reading and get their parents to help them. Thank you.
Sorry, I was looking at her, I was looking at him like, when do I start? Hold on, I was waiting for the break. So this is actually a great example is what the school district just did at Nicholas, which was bringing the community together and bringing so many people to collaborate with. They had dental services, they had somebody doing vaccines. I actually got my flu shot that day. They had food services. They had so many people coming together as a community to collaborate. But I also feel like we need to expand partnerships with organizations, not only like the ones that we had that day at the very first community meeting, but also healthcare providers, like to offer more resources for early literacy and family supports for those families that have brand new children in our community and have no idea, no clue where to go to get these resources. That is very important, that is key, and I'm thankful for the Fullerton School District for actually having done this great event on, was it Wednesday, Thursday? I lost my days already for last week, but it was a great event. I went home with 1 million flyers, and I definitely shared them with all of my friends.
Thank you very much. Okay, that wraps up our early childhood subcommittee. We're going to be moving on to our homeless subcommittee, and we are going to have Lisa McPherson ask questions.
Thank you. First, I want to thank all 4 of you for running for public office. It's often a thankless job to be a public official, and you're all showing your commitment to our community, and I applaud all 4 of you for that. I'm going to ask a question on behalf of our homelessness subcommittee. James, we're back with you as the first one to answer. The question is, Orange County produces an annual conditions of children's report. It shows that the rate of childhood poverty in Orange County is increasing with 49.6% of children eligible for free and reduced lunches. What strategies would you recommend to reduce childhood poverty?
Yeah, I'm familiar with that report because I work, I'm a deputy director at the Social Services Agency, and Dr. Sarah Marquez leads that report, so I'm familiar with it. And it has a lot of good information there that can help inform our policymaking. Specifically, when it comes to child poverty. Again, this is an issue that we're dealing with at the school district level, even though it is a larger issue. I think that just goes to show how pervasive this issue is that you might think this question is better suited for state legislatures or city councils, but the school districts are the ones that are feeling the brunt of the impact of that. We need more people, if they're eligible, if they qualify for free and reduced lunch, we need them on CalFresh food assistance, right? And that's something that the Orange County Social Services Agency can help you with. You can go in person, you might wait in the lobby, you can go on the phone, you might go on hold. Urge your clients, urge your community to go to benefitscal.com. There are some people who are afraid that this might affect their documentation set. Do not be afraid. We will not tell you. Right? Go to benefits.cal.com. Make us tell you no.
English whoa, wait a minute here. English language students in poverty enter school more likely to be long-term English learners because of their learning of 2 vocabularies. And research shows that in poverty, they come 2 years behind when they're in poverty. There's a continued need for preschool. Great investment in early education can provide low-income students with cognitive development, leading to a better education overall. We offer after-school and summer programs for our children who are behind in school. Health and nutrition programs in our community schools. We look at the whole child and family. Students get telehealth, classes, teeth care, even one tiny home. Sharing opportunities for education to parents and employment opportunities is paramount. Treating childhood poverty isn't just about alleviating immediate needs, but about also empowering families and communities, ensuring long-term stability, and breaking generational cycles of poverty through education, health, and economic opportunity. Thank you.
Yes, FSD supports students in poverty through free and reduced lunch programs and partnerships with local food banks, but that is not enough. We need to advocate at the state level for affordable housing and childcare subsidies for working families who struggle to make ends meet. Many families in Fullerton are one paycheck away from crisis, and that is not acceptable. We need to push for policies that help families access affordable services while sustaining their job. Expanding housing assistance programs and increasing affordable childcare are critical in ensuring that all of our families thrive, not only in Fullerton, but in every city. We have to push for this.
So James, awesome that you also work on that child conditions report, because I also attend those, and I see Paula Shafee in the audience, and Doug does an amazing job of reporting that report out every year. So you get really familiar with the information that's in that report, and you utilize it to be able to make decisions throughout the year. So one of the things, again, our Communities and Schools program offers these resources to families that are in poverty, that need the support. We also got to make sure, again, that it's not a top-down approach, but also listening to other resources that they need to be able to connect to. And again, building partnerships both with the city and other nonprofits within the city, like Pathways of Hope, to be able to kind of provide what they need in order to kind of continue thriving and making sure that they stay locally.
All right, thank you.
And now moving on to our Health and Wellness Subcommittee, we will have Peter Hernandez come up to ask the question. Thank you, Peter. And Hilda, you'll be going first.
Again, thank you all for being here. With that said, my question is two combined in one. In your districts, over 60% of adults and 30% of children are either overweight or obese. What are some strategies that you would support for the district that could enhance policies and the built-in environments to make the healthy choice the easy choice? With that said, are you currently working on any projects or have anything in mind that would support this objective? And Hilda?
Thank you. Obesity, dangerous for one's health and one's self-esteem. Our school district offers parent cooking, shopping, and walking classes to look at this issue. We've been doing it for many years. 6th grade students have a cooking class that started out funded by the Education Foundation and is now spread to many 6th grades to teach them how to eat properly and to read labels. The junior colleges work with that program. No candy at class parties, Valentine's Day, or Halloween on campus. Sounds mean, but it's helpful. Well-planned, nutritious, and balanced food prepared by our kitchen. And now they do scratch cooking. That's new and that's wonderful. Student education is important. Exercise classes and after-school and summer sports programs are important. Work with Little League and outside sports groups for scholarships to teach children how to use their bodies safely. Most of all, to support them emotionally when they need it. Thank you.
FSD, I'm so proud, has begun preparing 50% of the school lunches from scratch for students. But while the district has made strides in bringing school meals, we can further reduce processed and use more locally sourced ingredients for our foods, because kids are still getting quite a bit of processed foods in their lunches. But beyond nutrition, we need to make physical education more engaging and accessible for all of our students, offering affordable after-school sports programs where every child has the chance to participate, not just elite athletes. This would encourage more movement and instill lifelong healthy habits. By focusing on the 30% of children who are obese rather than the top athletes, we can foster a healthier student body overall. One of the things that I've been working on is connecting with Peter so that we can get some of our ELAC parents cooking classes at Raymond. So I can't wait to be able to make that connection and collaborate with you. Thank you.
Awesome. Health and wellness. I am so glad to be able to be a champion for health and wellness at our school district, particularly with the OLED program, the program that actually started as a community health worker at Chalk Children's, has finally made its way to Fullerton, and it's super amazing to see. And we'll be having the last class tomorrow at Richmond Elementary. Being a champion for physical education is kind of one of my big passions as well too. So again, making sure that our fields and our facilities are accessible to the community as a whole has been one of my leading things that I've been doing within the last couple of years. When it also comes to making sure that residents kind of lead efforts with America on Track to have a city that's smoke-free. So it was really amazing to see them at our community fair last week, championing that and getting petitions for people to sign to have the city to be a smoke-free area. So thank you.
1 minute is not enough to answer this question. I'm gonna try. All right, so one of the things that I'm working on is with the social service agency, we're partnering with the healthcare agency. So recipients of CalFresh can learn how to cook healthier meals with their food assistance or EAT cards. But those recipes and those cooking shows with local celebrity chefs, not just limited to people that receive food assistance, but to all families. Second, I hope measuring passes, and if it does pass and when it passes, that we would have the money to upgrade our food infrastructure to create healthy and tasty meals for all our school children. Finally, in the time that I have left, again, we need to connect with families. Oftentimes, families, they don't see the slow degradation of their child's health because you love your child for who he or she is, and you don't notice that there are physical issues arising. And so we need to elect leaders that can connect with families to go, hey, here are some red flags you can look out for. And so that is one of the reasons why I'm running. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, we have a final overall question for all candidates that's going to be asked by our current board chair, Jay Williams.
All right, thank you. This is the last of the formal questions. And here it is. How do you plan to work directly with the this collaborative, and our members to help support and improve public health in the city of Fullerton? I believe that's you, Vanessa.
Yes. So as a representative of English language learners, I bring the community's needs and concerns to the district. I listen to families, and I know that issues like family violence and gun violence are often public health challenges that many of our families don't feel comfortable talking about, especially in District 5. I would love to work closely with city council members and community organizations to host events that bring resources directly to our families. Through our Estrella Family Foundation and our business at Pachuco Zoot, we've actually already have collaborated with families in our district, and we've had workshops in our Casa 723 location we've partnered and have had classes there. So by partnering with local health agencies and school-based health clinics, we can provide families with the resources that they need for physical and mental health, especially in neighborhoods affected by violence and poverty, which a lot of our District 5 schools live in those surrounding areas.
So I was pretty much doing this for the last 6 years when I decided to also lead the Fullerton Collaborative Board. So I was already bringing the voice of the community to the collaborative. So I feel like I'll continue doing that moving forward. And I've been doing it, connecting with Debbie and other members of the collaborative, sharing kind of what some of those challenges are and making sure that we do think kind of creatively and innovatively when it comes to collaboration and social impact for the Fullerton residents.
Yeah, so I'll go call back to one of my earlier responses. I need your help to do what I call at work inefficient outreach. It is really easy for the social service agency, government agencies, generals, community-based organizations to wait for clients and residents to come to them. It is far more inefficient to leave our offices to go out into the field, into places of worship, into schools, into parking lots and parks where we can meet community members where they're at. Because they're taking a long day after work, or they're walking their dogs, they're on the weekends, maybe they work a different shift. But I need your partnership, but I also need to, again, mortgage your trust to gather the leaders of various organizations that offer different solutions, different angles to attack these problems comprehensively and structurally.
This collaborative has affected the things I do for many years. First of all, I work with St. Jude Hospital on the Health Committee. We're the outreach committee that piloted PBIS in Orange County and brought it, first of all, to Fullerton School District. That's a behavior program for our teachers, and it has been very successful. We are now expanding it to our bus drivers. By the way, St. Jude continues to fund it. Amongst all the other activities, the Education Foundation, through Lisa Bozak, has represented us on the collaborative and brought issues to us and asked us to help in different ways, and we are honored to do that. The collaborative offers the place we need to get together and say, let's not duplicate services, but work together to be the most effective, efficient donors to this society. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now we are going to finish with our closing statements. And we'll be starting with you, Lena.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry. My apologies. If you have any of the cards, does anybody have any cards to bring up?
I can collect them if you have questions written.
Or we can also open the floor. Okay. Okay, yeah. Wait for the question? Or do the closing? Okay.
Oh,
There's no questions. Sorry.
Miscommunication.
Okay. Oh, this is a great, I like this question. Yeah, that's a good one. I like this. And some of this was already addressed slightly in your opening statements, I think, but it's not a problem. So Lena, we'll go ahead and start with you on this one. What led you to run for the school board?
So actually, when I kind of shared, so in 2016, I ran in 2016 and then 2020 also. But again, working with the residents in South Fullerton, particularly in the Woodcrest neighborhood, with the Woodcrest Neighborhood Association. A lot of the work that they were doing was, again, geared towards the benefit of their kids and the future of their kids. Again, first-time parent, my kid was 4 years old at the time. I didn't understand, kind of grasp a little bit of what that looked like. But it really kind of drove the passion to do things, not just for myself or for the community itself, but for others and particularly for kids. And again, working at Chalk Children's for 8 years as a community health worker, I saw kind of the need of what that looked like throughout the whole Orange County. So when I came to Habitat and doing a lot of that empowerment component, community building, building outside of those four walls, building community, I really saw the benefit, and I said, how else can I be of an asset and bring my skills and talents to something greater? So that's why I went to school board.
Yeah, so I think there are a lot of reasons why I chose to run for the school board, but one of the most important to me is to provide better representation for the district or the residents of District 2. Since we turned to district-based elections in Fullerton and other detractors to it, we've gotten a younger, more diverse city council. And I think it's time for the same thing to happen for the Fullerton School Board. My trustee area 2 is roughly 50% Asian American, 1 in 3 households are Koreans. One of my reasons why my family moved here was, again, for the great Fullerton schools. And Fullerton School District remains a great school district. And I want to be a part of the solution, part of the vision to drive the school district to the next level and provide better representation at the same time.
My background involves teaching in the inner city. Later, I moved to Fullerton, and here I raised my children, and I was leader of every PTA they were on, PTA council, boys club, Boy Scouts, teams, and I realized I had a lot of cumulative knowledge. And when my children left school, I felt it was the time not to be prejudiced for a given school, but to look at the entire district and represent them. So I decided to run for school board, and there was a murder. And I knew the children who did the murders. And I thought to myself, I need to be on the school board to support education, to teach socialization and social responsibility to children, because you know what? That's even more important than knowing how to multiply or a calculus formula. Thank you.
I am a PTA mom. I'm the English Language Advisory Committee President at my daughter's school, and I was nominated to be the district's English Language Advisory Committee President. Being that I represent the district, I get to go to meetings, and I also, God bless you, and I also get to go to school board meetings where I get to hear all the fantastic things our district is doing. But I also get to hear from parents who are disappointed because, especially District 5 parents who are English language learners, which is the majority of the families and children in District 5. I get multiple times in hearing, I feel like my pleas are being unheard. I sent emails to the district, I sent emails to the incumbent, and they don't get back to me. And then I hear these statistics about our children being disproportionately labeled as having learning disabilities, Latino children. The majority of these children are in District 5. And that just fueled the need for somebody with a proactive voice to join the board so that I can speak on behalf and advocate on behalf of these families.
Okay, our next question from the audience, and this will be with James starting. What do you see as the advancement in parent involvement?
What do I see as the advancement of parent involvement? I think parental involvement has gotten a lot harder over the past several years. I think when I go canvassing and knock on doors, I see the street problems that our city council are wrestling with the street parking issues. When I was growing up, the single family home, you might have a car for mom, a car for dad. Your kid turns 16, you get a hoopty, you get a car for him too, right? Now these driveways have 5, 6, 7, 8 cars, multiple generations of families living in there. It is hard to get involved in extracurricular activities, even as an adult, when you are just trying to get by. And that's one of the reasons why I'm running for school board. I understand what it's like to be a working parent now. If you want parental involvement, you need someone who can connect with the parents who need to get involved.
We are overwhelmed as a society, partially because of the internet and TikTok and all that, taking our time. As a result, we see all over in every organization a lack of participation, not just parents, everybody. And I have a sense of that for all age groups. Zoom plays a part because you can get a bunch of friends together in Zoom and discuss an issue, a situation, a problem, and a school carnival. So we need to figure out a way to make people feel that it's more effective to look at each other face to face, to solve issues, to do carnivals, and to participate in the education of their children. Even the teachers union finds it difficult to get volunteers to help support their candidates Well, it is integral not only to their livelihood, but to their belief in society. So yes, it's a problem, and we need to find creative ways to solve that problem. Thank you.
So parent participation to me is key in the success of every child in our school district. Again, as a PTA mom and a PLAB president, I've been canvassing and knocking on doors and asking people and talking to them and trying to figure out how we can get more parents involved. A lot of the reasons I hear for not getting involved is I work. And so the meetings are not, they don't work around my schedule. We have some schools that are changing the AM, PM meetings to try to accommodate some other parents, but that's not enough. We can do Zoom, but that is still not enough. It is very unfortunate, but we've always had issues with getting parents involved, and that is the number one question that we need to address. How can we get more parents to participate? I know my child loves to see me at her school, whether it's for PTA, whether it's for ELAC, whether it's volunteering in her classroom, but I have the flexibility to be able to do that. A lot of other parents don't, and so we really need to focus and figure out how, which is $1 million question, how we can get more parents to be involved, because they do want to. They do want to. That is the consensus I'm getting.
I really like this question. It's my bread and butter. So ultimately, one of the things, right before the pandemic and right after the pandemic, it was challenging for residents or for parents to get involved. Within this last school year, you've actually seen an uptick in parent engagement and parent involvement, because I think they really found the passion and the drive to get involved in their kids' education, because they don't want to continue living the way they've been living the last couple of years. So one of the things is to really find their strengths, passions, and talents and put them to work. Letting them know and kind of lead them in the direction to engage and empower them, that they can actually make a difference. I think one of the biggest challenges is it's a generic or generalization of how they can get involved and help out, but there's no leadership in driving them on how to make that happen. So there's actually been an uptick, and I'm really sad to hear that some of the school sites are not, but I've actually seen really good engagement and involvement within the last couple of years at all of 5 school sites. So.
Very good. Okay. Yes.
I just had a couple of questions. May I ask?
We're out of time.
We're out of time. Yeah, we still have a couple things to do.
Individually.
Yeah. Okay. And now we are going to finish with our 1-minute closing arguments. Statements, not arguments. Oh my gosh, you all need to forgive me and the internet. I was on vacation for a week, and I think my brain is still in the Caribbean somewhere. She's like, what's going on here? Okay, closing statements, and we are starting with Hilda. I'm glad I could make you laugh. Okay, Hilda.
My opponent talks a lot about youth and age. We have 3 board members who are working parents in our school district with children who are actually older in their school districts. They've gone through more. They are all in their early 40s. That's 3 out of 5 members. I believe that I offer a different perspective. I think that today I shared with you, I have a lot of knowledge about education and our school district. I think that is important knowledge to help in decision-making on our school board. That's a really prime reason that you should vote for me for the school board. I offer diversity. Thank you.
As a mother, as a business owner, as a family advocate, as a community advocate, I want to bring a voice to District 5. I believe in the power of public education because I am a product of public education. I attended Fullerton College. I graduated with a double bachelor's in Cal State Fullerton, all with scholarships. So I understand the struggle our families are going through, their families in District 5, and I can relate to their stories. And so I am ready to be able to advocate for all the children in District 5 and in the Fullerton School District. Every child. We need proactive leadership. We need somebody who's not afraid to ask why and to bring up the issues that are happening with District 5 families at the school board, and work collaboratively with the district, with the teachers, with the staff, with everybody, because it's a team effort. It's not a one-person job. It is a team effort, and everybody needs to be in this together to be able to make our children thrive and succeed.
Closing statement, not argument. You scared me there at the end. I was about to say. No, so for me, ultimately, I have no agenda. I'm here to provide my assets, my strengths and my passions to the school district. There's no reason why I want to continue doing this, not just for the betterment of our kids and our teachers. So again, my sister's a teacher. I surround myself with educators that provide insight for me to be able to make better decisions as an individual. And then ultimately, this just kind of helps me guide and live life here in Fullerton, because I know I'm going to be living here for such a long time. There's really nowhere else to go. As we know, affordable housing is really, really tough. But for me, it's just to continue listening to our community and driving their passion for improving quality of life here in South Fullerton. Thank you.
So everyone, thank you again for your time, and I want to close with this. My proposition isn't about age or diversity necessarily, it's about offering a fresh perspective. I think after 28 years of service, I respect getting the heck out of it. Mrs. Sugarman first went office when I was in elementary school, and the quality of my education was in large part because of her stewardship, so I respect that, and I thank her for it. But when it comes to leading the policy direction of the board and the district today, I think you should vote for someone who steals candy from his kid. I think you should vote for someone who is freaking out that Halloween is only a couple weeks away, and what are we gonna do about the costume? There are issues now when it comes to policy-making power. We want someone who understands what parents, teachers, and staff are going through today. And so I think you have an unenviable choice in front of you. If you vote for Mrs. Sugarman, the district will continue to excel. If you vote for me, I promise it won't fail all of a sudden. It will continue to excel due to the part of staff and the teachers that make the district run well. It's a matter of priorities and policy direction. Thank you.
And let's put our hands together. Thank you for our candidates. Thank you, candidates. That was amazing. Okay, we have some business to take care of before we're done. First things first, we have new board members to vote in, and our board is voted in by our membership. We're very happy to propose to add to our board Mark Lee representing Radiant Futures and Kate Wright representing the Fullerton Joint Unified High School District. So all in favor of voting those members onto our board, please say yay or raise your hand. Yay. And any opposed? All right, we have them officially voted in. Welcome, Mark Lee and Kate Wright. That's fantastic. Okay, before we leave, we're gonna do our subcommittee reports. No, we're not doing our subcommittee reports because we're out of time and we have some very important announcements that we promised some members could make. So for your subcommittee meetings, please look at your email. Debbie will send those out. Okay, so we're gonna start first. Please make these announcements really fast, and I'm gonna have you come up in order of announcing, so we could just come up and knock them out really quick. We're gonna have Lions International come up and make a quick announcement. The Women's Club of Fullerton come up and make an announcement, and then the Fullerton Elementary Measure and make an announcement. So whoever wants to come first. Women's Club, you are first.
Okay. I'm just letting everyone know, if you are a nonprofit and you need office space, we have some for $1.50 to $1.75 square feet. And you can contact me or contact the church. It's at the First Lutheran Church in Amherst and Lemmon.
Hi, I'm Maria Jones. I represent the Women's Club today, and we are sponsoring or having a leadership forum on December the 4th. We chosen 5 women in the community, and so working for sponsorship, collaboration, and community to help us, so we have flyers there. Thank you guys for your time.
Hello, my name is Shani Khusro. I'm a member of the Fullerton Lions Club. We are going to be having a fundraiser on November 9th here in Brea Scouts. That's a place where we meet. So it's going to be on a lady who has been a teacher here before, I believe. Her name is Nancy Hanyari. Some of you might know her. And she's going to be showing us different kind of preparations. And the admission fee is $50. But then that will be going back to a Fullerton club. The other one I want to say is I belong to other 5 different organizations and Indian organizations. And one of them, we're going to have a signature for diabetes. So that's going to be on November 16th in Orange. I have flyers here. So please come, it's free Indian lunch. So anybody is interested in Indian lunch?
The Fullerton School District is now partnering to serve with restaurants to serve Indian lunches for our students. That's a appeal to their vegetarian side.
I started eating Korean food, so. Please take the fabulous picture.
Okay, well, I don't do Korean or Indian, I don't like spice, so, but whatever, guys, you know. I'm MJ Norm, I'm with the Parents' Voice. I asked that question. We need parents involved. I do have an announcement. We're gonna have a really dynamic speaker. She's actually a friend of Debbie's. She's a professor at Cal State Fullerton. She's world renowned, guys. This is a world renowned speaker. And we're inviting you to a free event this Thursday in this location. The speaker has been on many morning shows, on the Oprah show, and is well known for her research in genetics. Genetics as it relates to parenting. Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen. We really need to hear this. She's dynamic, the event is free. There's flyers at the door. You can ask me to register you if you prefer not to do it yourself or you don't have the ability to do that. But I encourage you all to come and hear her. And by the way, there is a lunch. It's done by Divine Restaurant, so it's pretty much Lebanese. So not too spicy, guys. Thank you for the time.
All right, thank you for letting us speak real quick. Jeremy Davis, Assistant Superintendent Renovation for the Fullerton Elementary School District. Very quickly, we'll take a 20-minute speech, knock it down to 1 minute. We have a table out there for Measure N. So it's full of facts. As you heard today, we have some infrastructure issues. Our schools are somewhere between 60 to 70 years old on average, and our 20-year end-of-life portables are right around 40. So our goal is to get funded. Okay, so our goal is to get funded. However, pro or con, you make those decisions based on the facts that you see. I will tell you that Proposition 2 is on the ballot as well, and that's to get state funding for bonds. And that looks like it's going to pass, but a lot of people don't know that if you don't have your own bond funds available to you, you won't be able to get the matching funds from the state. So our local tax dollars would go to districts that have passed bonds if the Prop 2 passes. So one of the reasons that we are asking, and we also have Measure L information out there as well for the high school district, one of the reasons we're asking is so we can be ready if Proposition 2 passes to take advantage. So whereas we're asking for $250 million, it could actually become $400 million for our elementary district if Measure N passes. So again, we have tons of facts and FAQs out on the table. The average Fullertonian would see an increase of $5 a month on their property taxes for this. So basically 1 cup of coffee a month for the Measure N piece. So again, I encourage you just to come ask us questions and to come look. It's also on our website. It's all over the social media. But we'd love for you to take some information because everyone in this room can impact 10, 20, 30 people because you're all important to Fullerton. And we think having great schools is important for all of us and any of us who live here, those of us that work for the district love where we work, but also the families and the parents and the property values. They all love it when you have amazing schools in the district, and that's one of the ways to do it is by having schools where the facilities are safe and the facilities are up to date. So thank you.
Thank you.
Last one.
Hi, everyone. I'm Patty from Cool OC. We're an environmental organization that educates on sustainable living and climate resilience. We're doing our first North OC Environmental Resource Fair in this very room next Saturday, or this coming Saturday at 10:30 to 1:30. So we're here in Fullerton. We're a new member of Fullerton Collaborative. Really love the community you all have here. And we are a resource to help you all go great. So please stop by, please promote this. It's a free event we're doing in partnership with the city. We'll have info on solar, plant-based diets. There'll be a little critter on display for the little kids. We're here to just talk about any questions you have about the environment, federal incentives, local incentives that help you go green, a lot of which many don't know about. So please check out our flyer over there or go to coolz.org. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming out today. It was so important to have you here. Thank you again, candidates. Thank you so much for serving your community in this way. You can stay in the room. We have the room till 4. So hang out in that room and chit chat, and we'll see you next month, the second Monday of November at 2:30 p.m. Thank you, everybody.
How long have you got?